Welcome to Exorcise Me. This is a story of forbidden love, a jealous fiancé, and a priest I could have used as the thumbnail, but no! This is not about you! Will your love for each other prevail, or are you doomed to be star-crossed lovers? Also, here are your warnings. Now, let's get into the video.
Now, dear reader, let us begin our descent. Who are you? No, really. Who are we as people? I really do hate to get this philosophical, but it must be done. For without this knowledge, the story to come won't make much sense. Are we the labels forced onto us from birth? Are we our beliefs, our hopes, our experiences? It really is impossible to condense our entire being into one arbitrary idea. Hence why the self is an amalgamation of all those things. It is a common belief that the self resides within a person's soul.
But that's quite the laughable belief.
Where would the soul even be? Our hearts? No, the self resides not in the soul or heart, but rather in the pinkish gray, wrinkly mass of tissue known as the brain.
Yes, I know. It's an answer that doesn't fulfill the fantastical desires we hold.
But it's true. For when something is deemed wrong with yourself, it isn't the heart that's tampered with, but rather, the brain falls victim to that tampering. Clarence, what's with the long face? You know why.
Oh, can it now?
This really isn't the way I'd like to spend my Sunday morning.
Well, this isn't how I want to spend mine either.
You should have thought about that before going off like you did. You bite your tongue. No amount of complaining will change her mind.
Besides, it's not like you could just run out.
It's not like you could just run through that massive doorway you entered from.
Also, that wouldn't exactly remedy the problem that you have, if you could even call it that.
Look, Clarence, this isn't just going to help you. It's going to help all of us. It will be quite selfish of you not to go through with it.
Well, screw you, Mother!
That selfishness doesn't matter now, though. It'll be gone once this demon is ripped out of you. Guess I better get on with it. Wouldn't want to be selfish.
Although, maybe I wouldn't be so apprehensive about this if they just told me what the heck exorcising a demon entails.
You should probably chat with some of the guests here. Perhaps they could tell you a bit about what's going on.
You're practically an adult by now. There's no reason why they'd have to hide something so benevolent from you.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna make a save right now, just in case.
But okay, yeah. There's only one ending to this, so I think I might just be doing one playthrough. You're pretty sure that this woman is an aunt. Though that doesn't really narrow down the list of who this is. You have too many aunts to keep count. Oh, Clarence, look at how you've grown.
Hello, aunt.
The memory of her name evades you. She had the courtesy to remember your name, and yet you couldn't return the favor. It's Aunt Tia, don't you remember me? You were just a baby the last time I saw you. How would I remember you then? And I will reiterate that you've grown so much. Soon you're gonna be snatching up all the women at college. I will say, though, you ought to do something about their hair. It's not very fitting for a strapping lad now, is it?
Guess that I can't be too surprised that that's what she thinks. So, Aunt Tia, are you looking forward to the grand event?
You internally cringe upon hearing yourself describe the event in such a manner.
You already know that, yes, she is indeed excited for this event.
But maybe she heard from your mother about what's going to happen. Why, of course I'm excited for this, Clarence. You haven't a clue about how happy I am for you. This illness plaguing you will be gone, just like that.
I beg your pardon?
I'm suffering from an illness I don't know of. You hope to divinity that she says something along the lines of, well, you actually have this rare illness, and we're not actually here to do what you think. This virus is going to kill you, but don't worry, because with the power of medicine, we'll help you. And then it'll be like none of this ever happened. Hip hip hooray! But of course, the words that pop out of her mouth contradicts this fantasy. Clarence, don't act like you don't know. The hair was already enough, Clarence. It's obvious to everyone. And what your mommy told me was the icing on the cake. So be the good lad you've been and get on with this. Right, that's fine. Who are you? You look like Manly. You have no clue who this man is. The only words that come to your mind when attempting to describe him are manly, badass, and heroic. You're pretty sure he isn't related to you. But I guess that's the only thing about churches. Any random person can come and go as they please. The man appears to be holding a cup of coffee. But there appears to be no liquid inside. It's empty, just like my soul. God damn it! When am I going to get a reference? Then again, like the references to Mochi are enough. This is one of your many uncles. He's the father of your little cousin, Samuel. He's like most husbands in Libretto City. He beats his wife, gets so drunk that he forgets his own name, sleeps with other people behind his wife's back, tried to get his son and wife lobotomized, and to top it all off, he goes to church each Sunday without fail. Not without dragging his wife and atheist son. He's pretty happy that you're finally doing what's right for the family. Well, screw that guy. Okay, what are you? Your relatives have a knack of bringing their pets everywhere they go. This includes more exotic pets, like a hawk. Strangely enough, though, this hawk is green. You've never seen a green hawk before. It opens its beak to speak in caws and screeches. Love isn't something you just let go of, said the... Now wait a damn minute, who trained this hawk to talk? Jesus. Something about this person is so familiar. Wait, could that be him? Hey, Ash. Who? It isn't him. Clarence, what did you say? It's nothing. The cousin rolls his eyes and goes back to standing. Standing with apathy plastered all over his face, a slight tinge of annoyance visible. You decide to leave him alone. It would make things awkward if you stayed too long. What about this cat? Seems like one of your relatives brought a little cat with a dapper top hat. It still is moving like the pendulum of a clock. But, wait. Clock reference? Maybe. I'm not gonna say anything about that. Hello. Yeah, it's your little cousin, Samuel. You haven't seen him in some time, even though the two of you were glued to the hip a few years ago. You wonder what he's going to think about you needing this exorcism. You brace yourself for the disappointment. How could my older cousin, who I looked up to, be something so scandalous? Then you're pretty sure it'll be followed by, but he's doing the right thing by getting that demon exorcised. Clarence, long time no see. How have you been? I've actually seen better days, Sam. What about you? You're in high school now, right? High school's okay, I guess. You could say that I've also seen better days. The silence hangs in the air for a good while, as the two of you stew in misery. I guess that it isn't going so well for either of us, huh? Clarence, I know that this entire family reunion thing is about you or something, so I'm sorry if it sounds selfish for me to ask you something. Samuel, don't worry. It isn't your fault that Mother dragged us all here to get a demon out of me. I really don't want to be here for whatever they do to me. I'd rather help you, if I'm being honest. Promise me you won't tell my mom? You nod your head in affirmation. There's this classmate. A friend, actually. Because of how many classes we have in common, we began to speak to each other, and we've been speaking more now. At first, I felt like it was all normal, you know? Just two people hanging out with each other, nothing more. There's a but to this story, isn't there? Do you know what it's like to look at someone and feel the pounding in your chest? Like your heart's gonna run into their arms if you don't stop looking at them. But then you can't stop because that person is your future. They're who you see spending a good chunk of your life with. And then you just want to know them as something so much more than a friend. Personally, I believe you should ask her out. You're going to regret it if you don't take that chance of her now. But Clarence, they're not... Samuel's lips hover by your ear, and he begins to whisper. Clarence, he's a boy. He's as much of a boy as either of us, and these feelings, shouldn't I be having them for a girl?
You pause, attempting to think through what to do. Sam, let's go somewhere a bit more private. You make sure no one else is close. You wouldn't want anyone to eavesdrop on this, lest Samuel ends up in the same position as you. Samuel begins to elaborate in a blubbering tone. Clarence, what's wrong with me? I'm not supposed to feel this way towards my best mate. Samuel, there's nothing wrong with... There's everything wrong with it! What's my mother going to say? What's my mate going to say if he finds out? Although you know the truth about what would happen, you decide that clarifying that wouldn't be the most comforting. Clarence, you and Asher were best mates, right? I need you to tell me how I should be feeling towards my mate. Look, I can't exactly do that. I can't change the way you view your friend by telling you how I view Asher. But why? Maybe if you tell me, I could sort of force my mind back to normal? I don't know, but I'm desperate for any solution. I can't tell you about that because Asher and I, we're... You can't bring yourself to say it, even if you know that it will comfort Samuel. Asher and I are best mates. There's no way in hell she said that. That's exactly what she said. You go with that lad one more time and you'll never see the light of day again. And yet here you are. With that lad she speaks of. Quite the rebellious streak you've got going on there, Clarence. Asher, you're quite the bad influence on me. Am I so bad? I mean, all that I did was take you out without our parents' knowledge, and let's not even talk about how I got you to kiss me. Alright, hearing that is pretty damn bad, but at least we haven't done anything scandalous yet. I think that you're ignoring the fact that if anyone so much as saw us, that would result in the next big controversy in the paper. Okay, you got me. Didn't quite think that through. Generally speaking, Asher wouldn't behave in this somewhat immature manner. He's always hold a calm, composed demeanor, fitting for a future detective. You know that he reserved this playful persona just for you. And its energy is contagious. You begin to stifle some laughter as you move closer to him. Look at him, it's like staring at a vignette, frozen in time, with nothing in focus except for him. It's almost as if every single pesky problem of yours melted away in that very moment. I really, really want to kiss you right now. Why don't you? It's not like you'll get as hectic as the last time. The last time. The last time the two of you got this close was in the janitor's closet in school. Hello? How romantic. Privacy, for the two of you, is the ultimate luxury. You're hidden away from the critical eyes of the masses. Of course, it was just your luck that the janitor needed to retrieve a mop from the closet. And you had a very pleasant time explaining to the janitor how you had no clue how you ended up in the closet with your best mate. Clarence? Clarence, what is it? You know we can't do that here. Why can't I do it? Asher tries to lighten the mood a bit. Well, you've already broken half of your mom's rules just by being with me. Why not go the extra mile? You know me. I'm nowhere near as brave as you. I wouldn't exactly call myself brave. I don't blame you, Clarence. I want you to know that I get it. You know how my old man is all gung-ho about masculinity and all that. I think your mom would be even worse than my father about that kind of thing. It's just that keeping us a secret, even when our families aren't around, it's so exhausting. You're struggling too, aren't you? What makes you say that? You were struggling not to kiss me. Alright, you got me there. How about this? You find somewhere where we can be us, without having to worry about our families. Ah, are you telling me that the inside of the janitor's closet wasn't enough? It's almost the perfect place for hopeless romantics like us. The only problem would be how quickly the janitor found us. Just be glad that the janitor didn't tell anyone. Of course I am. I wouldn't want to be married up because someone tattled on us. Now, wouldn't that be a terrible way for us to end? As you think about Asher, you begin to realize that you never got the chance to tell him about this personal ordeal you're in. Maybe it's better that he doesn't know. He'd probably blame himself for this. Someone saw the two of us together, and they clearly saw through our platonic act. Of course, being physically close to someone isn't the best way to act platonic. Even if it is a little hard to understand why holding hands is always viewed as romantic. You continue to ruminate in your thoughts, forgetting that Samuel is there. Clarence? Is everything alright with you? Yeah. About your feelings and all, I think. Your words are interrupted by someone's arrival.
Mother, what do you want this time?
Her face holds a level of smugness that pisses you the hell off. Clarence, I think that I'm just going to go now.
What?
With that said, Samuel disappears through the massive church doors. Poor thing already has to deal with his mother fighting against his strong father. Wouldn't want him to listen to your interaction with this bitch.
Well now, what are you doing here? You're not Mother!
The words slide right off her tongue, almost like she genuinely hasn't the faintest of clue as to why you're here. Hello, Adelia. You don't have anything else to say to me? You spoke so much with that cousin. What? Do you have more in common with him than with me? It's of no concern to you. You haven't the faintest clue as to why the hell Adelia Hallows is here. To your knowledge, you're unrelated to her in any way.
It isn't like that matters, though. Family or not, she's always been rather insufferable. Clearly, she's here to throw salt into your wounds.
How's Asher doing? Like you'd actually care.
If you're so interested in Asher, why are you asking me?
The two of you are so damn close. I figured that you know every little thing about him. For someone so head over heels for him, you don't seem to want to speak to him. Do I really have a choice? You practically hoard whatever time he isn't spending on work. It isn't like I want to be a nuisance to my beloved. That will make for a terrible impression. You feel the bowel clawing its way back up your throat. Adelia Hallows wishes for the whole damn world to know that she is betrothed to Asher Cypress. The idea makes you cringe. She'd become Adelia Cypress. If you wanted to speak to her, she probably insists you to call her Mrs. Cypress.
Mrs. Cypress this, Mrs. Cypress that. God damn,
God damn, Mrs. Cypress. At this point, it's like she's dangling Asher's love over you. You can't even say anything about it. Adelia would almost certainly humiliate you if you did. What are you meant to do? Grin and bear with it? Alright. You've been doing that your whole life. Surely you'll be able to do it this one time. What's the matter, Clarence? Cat got your tongue? Or could it be... Adelia, for once in her godforsaken life, hushes her voice. Maybe, just maybe, she doesn't want to humiliate you. After all, it's a habit of hers to broadcast words to all in the vicinity. And now would be the perfect time to do that. A spacious church would disperse her message to all in the building. She leans in closely. Could it be that you're just jealous? Jealous? The hell you mean jealous? Dread creeps up your spine. Does she know? You hope to divinity that she doesn't. Not that divinity would listen to you anyway. If divinity hates people like you so much, there isn't any reason as to why they would heed your pleas. By the way, Mother Charity wants to see you right now. And don't look at me like that. You know that all of this was your own doing. Well, screw you! Adelia mutters something under her breath as she exchanges a final glare with you. Something tells you you don't want to know what she said. In your mind, you quickly piece together why she's been so much smugger than usual. The hell is her deal? She's already betrothed to Asher. She already has him all to herself. She really wanted him that badly. She could have just said the words and they'd be married. Sometimes you don't understand the way in which people view love. I like to believe that you're not like Adalia, completely obsessed with Asher. But now that you think about it, perhaps it seemed that way to others. Divinity forbid two young men hold hands or tease each other. Alas, you probably should heed Adalia's words and see Mother Charity. I should call him. Okay, anyway, I need to speak with one of these two. I don't know who's who. Wait, legit, who is who? Who are you? Wait, who are you? Mother Charity begins to speak with you. Unholy one, divinity requires a task from you. For the ritual to commence, you must light all of the candles. Mother Charity bestows upon you a holy lighter. You got a lighter. Halt your movement for a moment. Why? Divinity's love is inevitable, and you think you can escape it. You're sorely mistaken. You can't help but wonder what benevolent deity's love would be inevitable. Something about their love cleansing you regardless of your desire rubs you the wrong way. Run along now. Go off and light the candles. Screw you, Mother Charity! Glued to Mother's face is a frown. She's probably thinking about how much of an inconvenience it is that you're even here. Go on, Clarence. Go on with your day so we can get this over with. Yikes. Okay, why does this have to be a minigame? Completely unnecessary. You wonder why you of all people must light the candles. Wouldn't it have been much easier if the candles were already lit? Someone took their time to arrange the candles. Couldn't they have also lit them? Whatever. Let's go. Yoink. Lit the candle. Alright. And yoink. Lit the candle. Alright. Next. Also, is it just me or is it getting a little darker? Can't tell. Lit the candle. Okay. And yoink. Lit the candle. Maybe the ritual's participant is supposed to light the candles as a way of submission to divinity. After all, now Mother Charity can say that you were compliant with the ritual, seeing as how you helped set it up. Ew. Also, it's definitely getting darker as I light these. Yoink. You lit the candle. Right, now what? Where's the rest of the candles, or do I just leave? Oh, there's more out here. God damn. Nearly forgot about these. Yoink. Lit the candle. And your boinkies. Lit the candle. Yep, much darker. You think about how Mother Charity said that divinity holds unconditional love for all humans. Of course, the unconditional part has always been up for debate. Alright, let's go. You boink. Lit the candle. Apparently, in order to be worthy of divinity's love, you must follow all of the rules laid out in a little book. So much for unconditional love. I gotta say though, I do like the commentary on like religious beliefs and all, because like it's even worse when people actually do use the holy text as a weapon against people they do not agree with, and that's what really rubs me the wrong way here. There are so many rules in that little book about who you're allowed to love and who you aren't. If you were to use that book to help find a lover, it would be almost impossible to do so. The more you think about it, the more you think that little book just wants to make you love divinity romantically. Mother Charity has never had a lover. She always finds something in people that's not up to code with what the book says. But she sure as hell loves divinity. Everything is divinity's will, as she always says. You're pretty sure that all of her behavior aligns perfectly with what that book says would be the ideal human, which includes bending yourself and other people backwards for a deity you can't prove the existence of. At this rate, you could snap in half for a divinity. Last candle. Let's go. Yoink. Lit the candle. That should be all the candles. Guess I should speak to Mother Charity again to start the ritual. Mother Charity! Why is it so dark? Also, can I speak with Manly again? It would be so funny if I could. Do you have anything different to say this time? Useless.
Huh? The man points a mirror in your direction.
It's you. You look good.
You're tempted to thank him, but you wouldn't know what to say. Thank you, manly badass hero. I guess that makes up for the rest of this game.
You've completed the task. Yes, all the candles have been lit. Come now, let's commence the ritual. Are you ready to start the ritual? You won't be able to go back once you start. Let's get on with it. Seems like you're already taking on Divinity's love.
Well, screw you, mother!
It isn't exactly like you have much of a say in the matter. Before the ritual, drink this. Mother Charity holds you a vial of clear liquid. For some reason, the appearance reminds you of disgustingly bitter medicine. What is this? I should have known that she would resist. I just want to know if this liquid is... You struggle to conjure up the words that would appease her and obtain an answer. It is Divinity's will for you to drink that.
Well, screw you! Like, what is this? Is this Everclear? They told me so. In order for the ritual to work, this vial must be consumed by you.
But...
It is in Mother Charity's will for you to shut the hell up and drink.
To put it nicely, the drink tastes like a teenager's horrible attempt at creating lean? The chemicals burn your taste buds. It is in Divinity's will to shove questionable chemicals into your system. In spite of your revulsion, Mother Charity seems quite pleased. Come now, a cleansed spirit awaits you. You stand in the center of the 6 candles. After everything, you still haven't a clue as to what Mother Charity is going to do to you. You hope that she simply chants a few prayers and calls it a day. It is how she solves every problem that falls upon people after all. Children of Divinity. For a split second, you are taken back to the Sunday masses of our youth. Mother Charity always spoke in a thunderous voice like that. We are here for a momentous occasion, children. We are here to help enlighten this confused child.
I'm not confused, I'm just gay!
Your face begins to feel hot with mortification. It's already been drilled into your head that this isn't really you. This is just the you who doesn't know what the hell you're doing.
There's absolutely no need to further humiliate you.
Unless the humiliation is meant to exorcise the demon out of you. This young one has rebelled against Divinity's will. Therefore, we can only come to one conclusion.
And not the dingus who's been beating his wife and child?
A demon runs rampant in his soul. It holds his soul with the foul claws of evil. But fear not, children, for he has not been so consumed by evil that the damage is irreversible. Wait till they hear about Lil Nas. Today he will learn of the true extent of Divinity's love. And that love will exorcise the demon out of him. Now, children, pray for him. Pray that we tear the demon out of him, and pray that a good soul remains. The people hold their hands in devout prayer. It's almost like they're in a drug-induced trance. In any other situation, this would almost be beautiful. A congregate of people peacefully banding together in support of a loved one. Of course, though, you struggle to see the beauty in it. Maybe, just maybe, you'll see the beauty in it after the completion of the ritual. I mean, who are you to think you know what's best for you, right? If it weren't for your irresponsible decisions, you wouldn't even be here in the first place, right? And even then, you would have ended up here. What kind of fantasy did you reside in? Where did you think you and Asher would go to be free? The people finished praying and turned their burning gaze towards you. This is it. You're going to be everything that people want out of you. You'll love who you're meant to love. You'll be free, right? Free of all the constraints placed upon you just for something so trivial as romance. In these moments, however, you wonder if it really is your fault. If the constraints placed upon you, were they really your fault? Maybe, if yourself wasn't so tainted, you wouldn't even be chained to... You wouldn't even be chained to these restrictions. Your vision goes dark. The body is limp. The numbness. It hurts, strangely enough. It's so cold that it almost burns. Wait, this isn't right. Your vision slowly returns. Your eyes feel both numb, like something is squeezing them. Wasn't there supposed to be some kind of ritual? When did they say anything about... Wait. His eyes are glued shut. Nothing that the surgeons do to him invoke a reaction. Almost as if he's sedated. Then it hits you. That's your body. Where are you? How are you not in your body? This doesn't make any damn sense. Mother Charity always said that surgery was against the divinity's will. So, what is this? Before you can elaborate on your thoughts, something sharp probs at your... Oh, it's a lobotomy. What would happen if that fleshy mass in your head were to be tampered with? Ugh! What if scalpels tore it apart in such a way that it didn't render your body useless? Something snapped away from him in that very moment. Something very important. Once it's gone, it'll never return. And if some part of it remains, it'll never be the same. Clarence Amato graduated from law school with flying colors. His professors praised how focused he is. It was almost as if he had no life outside of classes. He was perfect in their eyes. And he was perfect in the eyes of his family. Thank divinity that you're blessed with a wonderful child, people would always say to his mother. Some would also say, goodness, the treatment worked wonders on him. Clarence hadn't a clue as to what they were talking about. Of course, he didn't care to ask what they meant by that. He wasn't supposed to question it. He was content with being perfect. Absolutely, positively perfect. Exactly as a young man like him should be, right? Obviously, Clarence had to enter the workforce. What kind of man would he be if he didn't? So he joined the 13th precinct of Libretto City. The precinct was always looking for new talent, due to how understaffed they were. Clarence didn't care much for detective work. True, he was detached enough from his surroundings to be able to stomach the violence involved in the field. But that same detachment was exactly why Clarence didn't truly give a shit. He was just there for a paycheck. When Clarence entered the office, there were a couple of detectives, all chatting with each other while sipping scalding coffee. One of them glanced at Clarence. This detective had deep brown hair, ivory skin, and emerald green eyes. Clarence felt an odd sense of familiarity, even though he had never seen this person before. The detective took a quick glance at Clarence, and it seemed like that would be it. But he then looked at Clarence again, this time with a surprised look. Clarence could have sworn that this young man was going to spit out his coffee with that look on his face. The young detective nearly spilled his coffee while getting up from his seat, as his co-workers looked at him with absolute bewilderment. Thankfully, he didn't make an absolute mess. Clarence, is that really you? I haven't seen you in so long. I thought something happened to you. Do I know you? The stranger gawked at Clarence with confusion and disappointment. Clarence. Clarence had absolutely no clue how this man knew his name. Neither of the men wore name tags, and this was Clarence's first day in the office. The stranger held his head low, like a child who had been scolded by his parents. Clarence's eyes were caught by the contents of the stranger's desk. A photo of the stranger and a strawberry blonde woman was held in a wooden frame. It appeared to be a wedding photo. Oh, no. The stranger's face looked absolutely miserable in the photo. A slight frown was glued to his face. However, Clarence couldn't tell for certain if the marriage was arranged or not. The stranger looked so miserable that he must have been forced into the marriage. It was the very first time Clarence had ever seen a man unsatisfied with what might have been an arranged marriage.
but the woman's pose and countenance conveyed a completely different story. How could a man not be happy with a wife like that? Clarence thought. Clarence eventually found out that this stranger was Exorcized. He was supposedly the top detective in the precinct, having cracked the most high-profile cases in Libretto City. Clarence had heard the name before, in the morning paper. He expected Exorcized to be a cold, stoic figure. How else could one manage the gore seen on the job? Clarence sure as hell didn't think this chatty young man was the Exorcized. Whenever Clarence so much as walked outside the room, Asher would drop whatever he was doing and begin to chat with Clarence. He would ask stupid things like, "Did I do something, Clarence?" Clarence figured that it was self-explanatory as to why he gave Asher the cold shoulder. Clarence had no idea what the hell was Asher's deal. Asher acted like he and Clarence were close friends, even though they had never seen each other. And in the back of Clarence's mind, he couldn't help but feel that Asher viewed them as something much more. Much more than friends, let alone acquaintances. Ending. A torn self. Anyway, that was Exorcise Me. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys do want to play this game for yourselves, link to the game will be in the description below. And I gotta say, I hated that. And I mean that in a positive way. I know that the whole point of this story is to frustrate you to no end with, like, just how corrupt the church is and, like, with how it depicts its religious themes. And honestly, it's a beautiful story. Like, holy hell. I haven't played anything from this developer before, but I'm glad I picked this up. I might actually try some of the developer's other games sometime soon. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all have a lovely rest of the day. And as always, I'll be seeing you in the next video. This is Lion, signing off. Ciao.